Okay, welcome to lesson 5, identifying proportional and non-proportional relationships. We're going to go ahead and do the opening exercise. Isaiah sold candy bars to help raise money for his scouting troop. The table shows the amount of candy he sold compared to the money he received. Is the amount of candy bars sold proportional to the money Isaiah received? How do you know? Well, in order to determine that, we have to see if each of these, we want to ask ourselves, do they have the same unit rate? Or in other words, constant of proportionality. Okay. In order to determine that, we're going to use formula y divided by x. So 3 halves. 3 divided by 2 is equal to 1.5. Then we have 5 divided by 4, which is going to be equal to 1.25. And automatically, I don't even have to keep going. As soon as I see that two of my values have different unit rates, I can tell that this is not a proportional relationship. So no. No, because unit rate sold, the unit rate for the candy bars sold to the money received is not the same for each sale. Okay. So that's just a little brief exercise. So let's remember that, y divided by x. But there's some also characteristics that you might want to be able to examine to determine if a graph is proportional. If a graph is proportional. So let's say, using the ratio provided, create a table that shows money received is proportional to the number of candy bars sold. Plot the points in your table on the grid. Well, I can see right here that if I look at y over x is equal to 3 halves equals 1.5, that means I need to multiply 2 times 1.5 to get all my y values. Or x times 1.5, I'm sorry. So 3 times 1.5 is going to give me 4.5. It looks like I can just keep adding 1.5 each time, which my numbers are consecutive. Okay, so we're at 0. And we're at 2, 3. Then we're at 3. Where else? Yeah. 2, 3, 3, 4.5. So right about here, I would say. And 5, 7.5. Right about here. And if I kept going, I could see more points. The more points you have, the better your line is. I'm going to go ahead and use the straight line tool so that I could draw a nice arrow through my points. Oh wait, let's do that again. Oh no, okay. All right, there you go. It doesn't really go through my other point, technical difficulties, but as long as you see a straight line that passes through your points and passes through origin, and FYI, your origin is here, and you have a proportional graph. So let's go on to the next page. Now we want to talk about the characteristics of graphs of proportional relationships. Just like we talked about in the previous one, we want to make sure that it, one, passes through the origin, and it's a straight line through all points. So let's go ahead and graph these points again. You can see these values are not the same values from our previous exercise. So we're going to go at 2, 3, 4, or say 4, 5, 8, 9, and then 12, 12, 12, 12. I'm going to try my best. And then we can assume that this one starts at 0, 0. And if I draw a straight line, oh, but look. Can we say that this one is proportional? Well, maybe. Does it pass the origin? Yes. Is it a straight line through all points? No. So it's not proportional. You cannot assume that just because it starts at the origin that it is a proportional relationship. Okay, graph the points provided also in this table. So we're going to start 0, 6, 3, 9, 6, 12, 9, 15, and 12, 18. No, this is a straight line to the best of my ability. But it doesn't pass to the origin. So I can automatically tell this is also not a proportional graph. So similarities with example 1, like if we compare it, we can say that points from both graphs fall in line. And then differences from example 1, well, does not start at the origin. The conclusion I can draw from this is that you can't assume, like I said earlier, that all points, we're going to write that in bold letters. Do not assume that a graph that starts at the origin is proportional. Abbreviate that, is proportional. Other ways to test for proportional graphs, you can test 2 of the points and see if if you divide y divided by x, if you go ahead, if you get the same unit rate, then you'll know it's a proportional graph. Okay, so this is the end of this video. You can go ahead and complete the problem set questions. Yes, the problem set questions on page 20 and page 21. Thank you.